So as a result of your To the Realness ties, as you said, you connected, built some chemistry with Timothy Williams
Yeah.
and Brandon Stevens,
Yeah.
which spawned the group Mellogroove.
Yeah.
How did that group form?
So from To the Realness, and even at the Shack, I would be playing keys, Tim would be playing drums, Brandon would do some songs, right? So even we would do that type of stuff. Brandon and I actually won one of the Showtime at the Apollo things that the AKAs did.
Mm-hmm.
We split $100, which is a big deal for us then. So even after college, man, those very tapes I used to record my beats on,
Uh-huh.
and out of Derek's room had at least about 5 or 6 tapes. I was doing something at a church in Charlotte, and I met this lady named Nicole Wells, and she was like, I'm gonna record an album. I need somebody to produce it. So she's like, you got any of your work I can hear? Have you done production before? And I remember inviting her over to listen to those beats. And I remember we sat in the car because they was on cassette. So we sat in the car, listening to tracks. She's like, I want you to produce my album. And lo and behold, where did we go to do the album? At Derek's crib. I was like, I got a guy, and I produced her whole album, man. It was called Full Circle in 2004. And
Right.
so after the album was done, she got some shows. So she's like, of course, I'm gonna play keys for the show. I was like, I know a guy who can play drums. And then so I brought Tim in. She's like, what if any background vocal people who can sing? I was like, yeah, I know somebody. I brought Brandon in. So we started out with live performances through Nicole Wells. Now, after a while, she moved away out of the area to pursue, degrees and different studies and things like that. But when that happened, we already knew we could perform live music. So we started out with the three of us doing little local stuff for Hollywood. Earl Hunter at the Holiday Inn, he would have parties and stuff. And man, we didn't even have equipment. Then we would plug up our instruments into like a boom box. We didn't have speakers but it worked.
Right.
And you go through these things you learn as you go. But we did a few of those, man, and that's how Mellogroove like became something. Then we started adding on pieces. Even I got to shout out my man Mike, who used to play congas for us. He moved to Atlanta. So at one point it was a 6-piece. We still remain a 5, and we still do like some trio stuff with Brandon, Tim, and I. And we actually we did a project in 2006, like a little EP that had about 6 or 7 tracks on it. So, but that's how Mellogroove formed, by me working with Nicole Wells, doing her project, and then getting into the live performances. And then she ended up moving out of the area, and we was like, man, we could do this ourselves.